Hi dear subscribers, most watch me without a subscription, support my channel with a subscription, and I will make you happy with new story. Story 1. My 37M wife's 34F sister, 29F, tried to kiss me and now my wife is spiraling. Help me. Sorry for how long this is, TLDR at the bottom. As the title says, my wife's sister made a pass at me at a recent family gathering and I have no idea what to do. For context, I think my wife Jenna is absolutely gorgeous, but she has some really negative body image issues. This is in large part because of her sister Mary, who is very conventionally attractive, as opposed to Jenna's more unconventional, but, striking beauty. Mary was a successful model until a couple of years ago and now works in the fashion industry. In our early days of dating, when I would tell Jenna she's beautiful, she would always say, "Just wait until you see my sister." When I did finally meet her family, she would randomly press me for weeks to talk about her sister, whether I thought she was more attractive than her, etc. I always told her the truth, that I think Mary is attractive in a boring way, and that I think my wife is much more beautiful and interesting to look at. She wouldn't let it go until I confronted her about how uncomfortable it made me and asked her what was going on. This is when she told me that she always had a chip on her shoulder about her looks because of being compared with her sister growing up. They fell into the classic smart one/pretty one dynamic their whole lives. She also said Mary had a habit of being flirty with all of her exes and warned me that it would happen to me eventually. She then started sobbing and begging me to not cheat on her with her sister, to which I forcefully said I would never cheat on her with anyone, let alone her sister. I've been crazy about my wife since day one, and there's literally no woman on earth who could come close to her. I honestly didn't believe her about the flirting at first. I assumed it was just an extension of her insecurity, but I was wrong. Whenever we get together with my wife's family, Mary always finds ways to touch me and make little innuendos/comments about me or my body. It's super uncomfortable for everyone, especially my wife, and I've called her out on it before. She'll cool it for a while, but eventually start doing it again. It's been 6 years of this, and every time it happens my wife is upset for days, and I have to do a lot of reassuring. On to the current problem. A few days ago, we were at my MIL's birthday party, and Mary asked me to help her grab some things from the garage. As soon as we walked into the garage, she turned and pressed me up against the door with her whole body and started trying to kiss me. I immediately pushed her off and asked her what the fuck she was doing. She started giggling and saying she was just doing what we both have been thinking and kept insisting, "You know you want to." I told her she was out of her mind and ran out of there. I went straight to my wife and told her we were leaving. The whole ride home she was asking me what was wrong. I wasn't sure whether to tell her because I knew how much it was going to hurt, but I also thought Mary would probably try to spin it as me making a move on her, so I knew I had to just say it. I told her everything and she cried the whole way home. For the last several days, Mary has been calling and texting my wife doing exactly what I thought she would do, even telling my wife that I said she, Mary, was the hottest girl I've ever seen, which I had to assure my wife a million times that I did not and would never say, even though she believes my account of the situation. She's been a complete wreck the last several days. She's hardly eating, she pulls away from my touch when I try to hug her or just hold her hand. She says she feels hideous and disgusting and I don't know what to do. This is the lowest I have ever seen her, and it hurts to see how much she's hurting. I have no idea what to do to help her heal from this. Reddit, what should I do? TLDR, my wife's sister tried to kiss me, and this is triggering deep-set body image insecurities for my wife. How do I help her? Update, my 37M wife's 34F sister, 29F, tried to kiss me, and now my wife is spiraling. Help me. I got a few requests for updates, so here it is. I first want to thank everyone so much for your advice. It was extremely helpful and gave me a lot to think about. I'm especially thankful for the folks that asked me how I was doing. I realize that I have literally never had a chance to check in with myself after these things happen, and I've actually been holding a lot of frustration and resentment about it all. I've been harassed for years, and it has either been brushed off or it's been eclipsed by the impact it has on my wife. I don't blame her for it, but this has been a good lesson in me not burying my feelings for the sake of others, even for her. I also want to clarify a couple of things that came up. Several people asked about how my wife's family feels about all this, and I explained in a comment that her parents are toxic and treat Mary as the golden child, even though my wife is a freaking neuroscientist, amazingly talented musician, speaks 3 languages fluently and another 2 conversationally. My wife and her family are seriously the only people who don't seem to understand how exceptional she is. I remember meeting one of my wife's family friends and talking to them about her research, and they said, "Oh wow, her parents just told us she works at a university." Whereas my parents literally introduce her as the family genius to everyone. It makes me so fucking angry to think about how her asshole family has stolen her shine her whole life. She's literally a Renaissance woman, but all they care about is looks and money. Some folks asked me why I would ever put myself in a situation alone with Mary given everything she's done. I have no good answers for that other than I never thought she would actually try to do anything. That possibility just didn't exist in my head. I realize now that I should have seen this would happen eventually, and that I should have been less concerned with keeping the peace and more concerned with shutting Mary's shit down before it escalated to this point. Hindsight is 2020. Anyway, on to the update. The night I posted, I told my wife that if she wanted to try to repair her relationship with her sister, I would respect that, but that I don't feel comfortable being around her for the foreseeable future. I said Mary has obviously been deeply jealous of my wife her whole life because she is a hollow, ugly person whose entire value has an expiration date, while my wife actually has substance. I said that I think her whole family is toxic and has done nothing but put her down her whole life, but that only she can decide whether she still wants them in her life. I also told my wife that while I don't blame her for her emotional reaction, her insecurity is something that she needs to work on for our relationship to be healthy. What Mary did was sexual assault, and she's been sexually harassing me for years, but I have consistently put aside my own feelings about this problem because of how it affects her, and that has prevented me from getting the support that I need, too. I told her that her reaction only serves to punish herself and me for her sister's behavior, and there's no reason to give her that kind of power. I also told her something that a commenter said that really resonated with me: the only people who have ever considered her second best are her and her family. Everyone else sees her for who she really is. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, thank you. She was crying the whole time and agreed that she needed to go to therapy to work on her insecurity. We were able to find a therapist who specializes in body image/self-esteem issues to work with her individually, and we're looking for a couples therapist too. My wife sent a message to her parents and sister that explained exactly what happened and told them she would reach out to them if she ever feels ready to repair their relationship. We blocked all of them everywhere, but Mary has of course been spamming my family and our friends with nonsense, claiming I attacked her, I'm a drug addict, I abused my wife, all kinds of bullshit that thankfully nobody believes. My wife is still down in the dumps, but I can see that things are getting a little better. She's eating and sleeping more, and she's cuddling with me in the mornings again, which is nice. Now I'm planning a surprise getaway for us this weekend. We're going to one of our favorite places, and I'm going to wine and dine her and try to make her feel like the goddamn queen she is. I want to thank you all again for your help. You really helped me understand the severity of the problem, and again, thanks for helping me connect with my own feelings about all this. Y'all are the best. Story 2. My 23F ex 24M tried to kill himself because I don't want to get back together with him after he cheated on me. Me and my ex were almost together for 2 years until I found out he cheated on me. Ironically, he cheated on me using Reddit, our 4 subs, and to be honest, at first I didn't believe it, but then I got hit with the undeniable proof, and so I hardened my heart and broke up with him. It was a really messy breakup with him crying, kneeling, begging, saying he only did that because he was frustrated and that he truly loved me. Other times, he blamed me for him cheating because I didn't give him enough attention. I ignored all of this and blocked his number and all his social medias. He tried using his family's phones to reach me, and so I blocked them too, although I am civil with them despite all of this. Because he couldn't reach me through the cyberspace, he eventually went to my house. Thankfully, we had a locked gate, and my dogs were also very alert to intruders. He couldn't get in, and so he slumped in front of our street and cried while demanding to see me. I already told my parents beforehand that I broke up with him, so my mom frantically called me that my ex was here crying. I immediately went back home and confronted him. He said a lot, saying how he couldn't live without me and that he'd kill himself if I wouldn't get back together with him. Now this is where I agree I did wrong. I laughed at him and said he could try. Then, despite his pleas, I went inside my house, leaving him outside. After that, it became quiet for 2 to 3 weeks, so I thought he finally left me alone. Then one day I got a call from an unknown number, and when I answered it, it was his mom crying and telling me that whatever my ex did, I should forgive him because her son is in the hospital right now after trying to kill himself because I don't want him back anymore. I was really surprised and also worried, and so I told the mom I'll talk about this to my parents first. My dad said he was pitiful and that although the end decision would still be mine, he hopes that I can support him for a while even if it means lying to him. My mom, on the other hand, said he's crazy and to never see him again. My sister is impartial with all of this. I also asked my friends and they basically said don't ever meet with him because he's a manipulative ass. My relatives eventually knew of this because the gossip mill here runs fast and said I should forgive him and to let bygones be bygones because God wouldn't forgive me if I don't forgive. I live in a misogynistic and religious country, so their behavior explains it. I do care about him and don't want him to die, but I also don't want to get back together with him because I know my worth. What is the best way to do things? TLDR, found out my ex cheated, had a very messy breakup, so I blocked all his socials and number, but then I got an unknown call one day and it was his mom saying I should get back together with him because he attempted suicide. Update, my 23F ex 24M tried to kill himself because I don't want to get back together with him after he cheated on me. January 15th, 2023. So I followed the advice here and went NC. I sent a text to his mom saying how I'll go NC, but I wish for his fast recovery. Basically, it did not go well and it definitely got a lot worse before it got better. His mom sent me a lot of messages and most were curses. Yes, it included a lot of derogatory words. I knew she was mentally troubled because of what happened to her son, so I ignored it and blocked her. When I woke up, I got lots of messages and message requests, and it was because she posted what was supposed to be a private matter in social media for the whole world to see. She even posted pictures of him in the hospital and she tagged me. It was overall a very hateful post. She screenshotted my text message to her about going NC. I was turned into a villain overnight. Most of my message requests were my ex's relatives cursing me, and some of them were random strangers who also rebuked me. Even worse, some of my own relatives berated me and they said I should have taken their advice and got back together with him. Thankfully, the post didn't become viral or anything like that, but so many people I know and friends of friends saw it. My mom told me to go on a social media detox or just go on sites where I'd enjoy and she'd handle it. Well, she posted a response to my ex's mom post, and it was about how she conveniently left out the part where her son cheated on me just to gain internet sympathy. My friends also backed it up and sent receipts and screenshots. My friends were one of the first people to know about the cheating. The hate died down a bit and I also received some support, but the damage had been done. My ex's company saw the post, my mom's and ex's moms, and they want to let him off because the whole issue is not good for their image since it reached a lot of people. I knew because ex's mom privately messaged my mom to delete her post because of it. She also said she'll delete her own post too. My mom got mad saying she'll refuse to delete it because now they want to be civil, but I did tell her to just delete it so that the whole thing can be forgotten. So far, the posts are still up. For context, I live in an Asian, misogynistic, religious country, so yes, I am still getting some hate messages, but personally, I believe I can handle it. As for my dad, him and my mom were not in speaking terms because my mom says he's not taking it seriously and my dad says that this isn't much of a big issue. To be honest, the most absurd thing about all of this is how my ex is still asking for me. I got a much unneeded update from one of his circle of friends, who by the way, knew of the cheating. All of his friends knew of the cheating and didn't think to tell me. I would like to thank all who gave me advice. I did not regret it one bit because who I believed to be good people, ex's mom and ex, all turned out manipulative and hateful people. No worries, I will definitely not get in contact with any of them in the present or future. TLDR, ex's mom made a post turning me into a villain. Mom made another post on my side. Ex's mom wants us to delete our post and she'll delete hers. No conclusion for that yet, but I got a lot of hate and definitely now and for the foreseeable future, I'll be going NC with them. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, thank you.